Hey guys, my name is Nums and this tutorial is going to take you through merging in Character Customizer with the ALS V4 system. First thing you're going to want to do is get a project of Advanced Locomotion System installed and ready to go. I'm going to do that now. Right, so that's made. Let's just open that up. Just made that. While that's happening, we will make another one. We will call it Find the Character Customizer. We will create that as well. Just call that CC. Call it whatever you want, doesn't matter, we're not going to keep it. Let this up and oh, that will minimize itself apparently. And we're gonna call this, open this up. Is that? You don't actually have to open this. I believe you can just copy the files over, but I'm going to show you the proper way of doing it. Dismiss that. But plugins, you don't need any plugins. Same with this one. So all we're going to do here is we're going to right click it. We're going to go to migrate. Make sure everything is selected. Okay. Migrate that over to ALSCC merged content, and we're going to dump it in there. And it should say it successfully. Sometimes it says sometimes some content couldn't be copied, but it usually does copy everything over. So I don't usually worry about that. So first things first is more times than not, it changes quite a lot of things that you don't necessarily know about for sure. So what I'm going to do, just to be safe, and this is what you should do too, I'm going to make a new folder called merged. And typically if you're doing your own game, this will just be your game folder. So I'm going to create a new folder in there called character. And for this first part, I'm only going to do the male. Process is exactly the same for the female, but you do have to do them separately. And then in the second part, I'll go into merging over the UMG stuff as well. So right now, we're just getting the character in, and then we'll do the customization part in another tutorial. Or you might even be able to figure it out before that tutorial comes out, who knows. So what we're going to do is make sure that we're in the right folder and merged. Characters, folder, male. Copy this. Copy this. So male LOD 0 and male LOD 1. I'm going to copy the M physics. And then we'll go into the Advanced Locomotion V4 here. We'll go into Character Assets, Mannequin Skeleton, and we copy the skeleton. So you need for now. I'll just rename a few things to make it easy for us. I'm going to call that MER. In fact, we can get rid of the mannequin part of that, because it's not for the mannequin, it's for our character now. Now this workflow can be applied to other characters as well, but some of the problems that you get are very specific to this character asset. So I'll go over how I got over some of those things. May not be the best way of doing things, but it was the way I did it, and it works to an acceptable level. Right, so these have been renamed so I can easily find them in the asset browser now. So the first thing we want to do here is we're going to just assign the skeleton. Sometimes, and a lot of people have reported this with the new ALS for system, sometimes it will simply just crash trying to assign a new skeleton. And that is perfectly fine. It does happen. So, when we're trying to assign to our new skeleton that we just created there, copied there. It'll go down here. You see breast R, breast L, and belly missing. So just accept. I'll add them. Okay. Luckily, it didn't crash this time. Probably will crash when we do the NMBP later, but we'll do that out when we get to it. Same thing for this one, except then we want to go into these. Let's drag that back onto here. And we want to scroll down and grab the new physics asset from here, and the same one for this one too. Scroll down, grab the new physics asset from here, save. Right. So that's saved, and then we've got to do a couple more things before we continue. We have to go to the physics asset, which opened on another screen. Of course it did. First things first, we want to select the root bone here. We want to add a, doesn't matter what you add, I usually add a capsule or a sphere. Add, then we set the physics type to kinematic, and we uncheck collision response. Then we go to the pelvis root constraint, and we set all of the linear limits to free. Right, and this is optional. I just find that it's better for the ragdoll. You'll notice that the ragdoll is a little bit floppy by default. Like if I simulate now, it's very, very floppy. And this is more pronounced when you do it in the game, in gameplay. So what I usually do is I just select all of these nodes here. Clavicle, upper arm, lower hand, scroll down, right side, neck and head, and obviously start simulating. Then I select change angular damping to 50 instead of 20, and I just think that looks a little bit better. Yeah. Next thing you want to do is open up the skeleton asset, and you'll notice that two things are missing. The LHS IK hand right and the LHS IK hand left. So what you want to do is you want to select this, and this is, I messed this up a couple of times. So on the left hand, you want the LHS IK gun right. So what I want to do is I want to assign that to the hand right. I personally don't know why you have to do it that way. I just know that you do. And then you do the same on the right hand and assign that to the left selected bones. Here. And then we call that RHS IK hand L. Save that. That should be it for the skeleton. Right, now what we want to do is we want to go and find the ALS and MBP, which is in the character assets mannequin skeleton. And then we want to do something a bit crazy. We're going to right click it, we're going to retarget anim blueprints, and we're going to duplicate anim blueprints and retarget. I'm going to select our skeleton from that list, and what I normally do is I will just, for the sake of clarity, I will rename everything from ALS underscore to MER underscore. I'm going to find our folder so we can actually find it. We don't actually have an animations folder in there yet, so we're going to make one. Click OK, just double check everything, all good, retarget. It takes a minute, sometimes it'll crash. If it does crash, just restart and try it again. Usually it just works, and if it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. This tutorial doesn't cover that. So we just do a Control S, save everything there. Control Shift S to save all. And now what you'll find is that all of these animations have been duplicated and retargeted, but it's not all of the animations that are available. That is what we're going to get to in a minute here. So we're going to move that here, just so it's easier. I want to keep that separate, and we want to make sure we save the skeleton too. Right, now we can at this point do something to change something. So just for testing's sake, what we're going to do is we're not going to do that. We're going to open up our blueprints, character logic, and we're going to duplicate the anim man character BP. We call that MER character BP. So that's going to be our character BP, and we're going to just move that into a blueprints, and we're going to move that into character logic, just so that we know that it's our merged system there. We'll go into that, open that bad boy up, and then we are going to do a couple of things that we don't need anymore. We don't need the coloring system, and we do need the hand system. We don't need this anymore. It's still available in the other blueprint. You don't need any of that in this one. That's what I'm saying. Construction script, we don't need dynamic materials or those colors. We need to keep the rest of that. And we don't need any of these function overrides that we're doing here. Colors, there we go. And we're going to compile that. Should come back fine. I'm going to select the mesh. We're going to select a new guy. We're going to call our MER LOD 0. And then we're going to use our animation blueprint that we just copied as well. MER and MVP. And there we go. We technically have to change the world settings here to use my new character that we created. Why isn't that working? Oh, it's because it's already a... I'm so silly. Right, there we go. Our guy's here. We can go around, we can do a few things. Crouch, jump. We can ragdoll, and we can get up from ragdoll. That is the basics really there. You'll notice a couple of things, however, like I ragdoll and I stand up, there's no animation. We roll, there's no animation for rolling. On mantling, there's no animation for mantling. And you will of course notice the big glaring problem with our feet there. So we're going to go and fix those now. To exit out of this, we're going to fix the feet first because that is the, obviously it's a big problem. To fix the feet, we want to go to our NMBP. This may not be the best way to fix the feet, there may be a better way, and if there is a better way and you know it, please let me know and I will update a video to fix it properly. But the way I know figured out how to fix it through arduous trial and error is to go into the NMBP, the anim graph, the foot IK layer, and then I find the apply IK to feet, which is at the bottom of that part, and I select each one and I say take rotation from effector space, and I simply uncheck those. Take rotation from its effector location there. Then I compile, and as you can see here, that's fixed immediately. File this and save this, and then we play. As you can see, feet are perfect again. You can run, you can stop, walk, jump, ragdoll, stand up again. And just to prove that IK is working after turning that little thing off, there you go. It's not perfect. As the IK works, your foot does not rotate with what you're standing on, and that is obviously the sacrifice you have to make in order to sort of get it working at this point. Like I said, if you know how to get it working properly, then let me know. Right, so that's that fixed. Next thing we want to do is fix the animations from getting up, and now this is a long and repetitive process, so I will just explain how I'm doing it for the first couple, and then I'll just speed through the rest of it so that you guys can pause and get on with it yourself. So we want to open up our character blueprint, and in the left here we have got a bunch of things here. Movements, we want variables. So yeah, mounted animations, roll animations, and get up animations. It's all defined in the character blueprint. There is probably a better way of doing this, but I found that the best way for me to do it is to open up an extra content browser here. Just dock that into the bottom. We don't need to really look at this right now, so we can just sort of this up. What we want to do is we want to find that animation, then we want to retarget and duplicate it, and we're going to just rename to ALS to MER. This is the repetitive process that I'm talking about here. Find merge, characters, mail animations. You can probably put this stuff into your into proper folders, like it's already organized, but this is just a quick way of doing it for me. And it merges it here, and then we want to, obviously it makes a copy of some things, but we can fix that a little bit later. And then we select that one, and we just click this little arrow here. You select an asset from content browser, and it replaces it. Go to the next one, and we click on the search icon, and we right click, retarget, duplicate, ALS underscore to MER underscore, find our folder. Okay, make sure we get the right skeleton selected, and there you go, there it is again. Select. And then we'll do the next one, LH, find it, retarget, duplicate, ALS underscore to MER underscore, game, characters, mail, animations. Okay, select the skeleton, retarget. And as I say, it's just a repetitive process of doing it until all of them are done. So at this point, I'm just going to continue doing it, and I'll speed through the rest of the video, and I'll see you when it's done. Here we are at the last one now. Target and select it. And we compile. Save. Make sure we save everything, so all of these animations are saved too. And then we'll give it a little try. Okay, so here we go. Running around. Ragdoll. And we get up. Ragdoll backwards. And we should get up from backwards. Ragdoll left. Get up from left. There we go. Then we've got the roll animations. And of course we have the mantle animations. Okay, and there you have it, guys. That is step one of I would say that was step one, but let me just tell you how to fix that real quick. To go to the first person, there's a little sneaky little socket right there, and all you got to do is just move that in forward so it's just above the nose in front of the eyes. And we hit play, and there you go. Yeah, so we've also got these things. It's not perfect, but these can be fixed with aim offsets. So I don't know any better way of fixing this, and I'd love to know a better way of fixing this, but the way I've been using so far has been to go into our blueprint, which is here, and there is a held object, update held object, and then you have a big switch here, all the held objects that you can hold. For example, the rifle one, this one going up here. So the values I need for this are 3, -4, and 2. And then I hit save and I play. And as you can see, rifles kind of works. Not the greatest, but if you know a better way of doing this, let me know, and I will definitely add it because I want to know myself. Yeah. That's it for now. We will be looking at adding in the UMG stuff, the widgets, the logic for the character customization itself, and ironing out any extra bugs we find along the way. If you want to do the female version, it is exactly the same process except with the female meshes. You will have to have them separate. The skeletons are different and rely on different settings in the skeletons, unfortunately. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.